Hello, this is the RPG Pundit, the final boss of internet shitlords, and I've just walked like 15 blocks, and now I'm making myself a coffee. And I'm here to talk to you about something that's kind of urgent. I was going to make a video sometime this week, but I decided that I had to make it on this topic in particular because it's something that's happened just now, and I think it's an absolute travesty. And I'm pretty sure you will too if you haven't heard of it until now. You might or might not be familiar with a guy named Jeremy Hambly. I've spoken about him before, but I think on the Inappropriate Characters stream. Hambly, excuse me a moment while I light my pipe. Hambly, also known as The Quartering or Unsleeved Media, those are the names of his two YouTube channels. He's a guy who's a bit like me, except that instead of D&D and role-playing games, he's all about Magic the Gathering, and he was a big name kind of in the Magic the Gathering community. He has been banned from all official Wizards of the Coast Magic the Gathering activities because he criticized certain Magic cosplay girls for what he saw as just kind of taking advantage of rubes or something like that, and this led to accusations of outrage of he was a sexist or something like that. So later on he exposed the fact that Wizards of the Coast had a whole bunch of pedophiles working in their Magic the Gathering judge program and affiliates and things like that they hadn't been, dealing with. So he humiliated them, right? And he's been ever since a big thorn in the side, similar to myself or my Inappropriate Characters co-hosts, of the establishment SJWs that want to take over a gaming and every aspect of pop culture and every aspect of basically human life because they're totalitarians. They want their ideology to be total. They want everything that you do every day from the moment you get up to the moment you go to sleep, from the day you're born until the day you die, to be about their SJW Stalinist ideology. It has to be about it. There's no moment where you cannot be getting woke or paying for your sins of, blood birth or whatever, of your racial sins. This is how they think. So, naturally, when he went to Gencon, he was violently assaulted. One of these SJW lunatics, a guy named Matt Loader, also known as, I think, Fantastic Matt or something like that, came up to him. This was not a bar fight. This was an assault. Jeremy did not throw a punch. Loader came up to Hambly from behind, tapped his shoulder, said, "Are you Jeremy Hambly?" As soon as he said yes, he started punching him, shouting, "I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm going to fucking kill you." He beat him repeatedly. Hambly managed to squirm away. He ran into the bar. The guy tried to run after him. People blocked him. He punched out a window with his hand, shouting profanity, and then left. And at the time, he brought this to the attention both of the police forces and to Gencon, because just as Jeremy Hambly was an attendant at Gencon, Loader was too. Loader wasn't just attending; he was also he had a display, right? He was also one of the exhibitors. And what did Gencon do at the time? They went out of their way to promote his products. They tweeted about his stuff so that people would go and buy them. That's their reaction at that time. So now, some time has passed, and Jeremy Hambly has just announced that he has been suspended by Gencon for being the victim of a violent and brutal assault that happened by another Gencon attendee at, just outside of Gencon. So this is how Gencon reacts to ideological political violence from the left, right? Now imagine Jeremy Hambly was instead a woman who had a feminist blog, Jeremina Hambly, who had a blog all about, the feminism in Magic the Gathering, how Magic the Gathering is, horrible, toxic white masculinity that has to be radically changed and everybody who currently plays it has to be thrown out, or something like that. And somebody came up to her in a bar, to Jeremina, and just said bad words at her. They didn't even touch her. What do you think would happen to that person? Not only would they have been immediately thrown out of Gencon, they would have been suspended for life, and they probably would have had massive campaigns to try to destroy every aspect of their life, their family, their work outside of whatever, outside of what they were exhibiting, all their connections, anything they ever tried to do from then on, people would be endlessly harassing them, right? Because this is what the left does, right? But they only do it when it's somebody on the right that they can attack, whether or not that person did anything really wrong. For example, Jeremy hasn't done anything really wrong. But when it's one of their own that violently assaults someone while threatening to kill them, they do nothing. Not one fucking thing, right? So yeah, you're going to tell me, oh, but Gencon apparently, allegedly, supposedly also suspended Matt Loader, right? Well, so fucking what? Like if somebody had done it, if Jeremina Hambley, the feminist blogger, had been suspended as well, the outrage would be all directed at Gencon. There would be howls of outrage. They'd be demanding that everybody involved in Gencon be fired, right? Everybody. Because you punished a victim for it. Well, Jeremy, in this case, is the victim. He did nothing. He got violently assaulted. That's all that he was involved. He was just there exclusively as a victim. He threw no punches. He didn't do anything to incite this guy. As far as I know, he didn't even know this guy before this guy attacked him. So they are punishing him for this. And they're also supposedly punishing Loader, but I can bet you anything that in at most 2 years from now, if not next year, maybe even next year, Matt Loader will walk through the doors of Gencon with absolute impunity and nobody will stop him. Either his suspension will officially be lifted or he'll be suspended, but they'll choose not to enforce that suspension. And he will be wandering around there, happy as a clam, getting ready to violently assault someone else in the name of social justice, because that's what these people do. Whereas Jeremy will never be allowed to step foot in Gencon again. So, you guys know that I am not a large-scale advocate of boycotting. I don't think boycotting is the way to go. I think, bringing public attention, threatening in the sense of the risk to someone of public outcry, if they engage in censorship, as opposed to if they don't, because that's usually what the other side does, right? They go to some company and say, if you don't censor these products, or if you don't change this, or if you don't fire this person, then we're going to create such a fuss about it. We're going to accuse you of terrible things, and then that's going to ruin your reputation. Well, our answer is usually to go there with larger numbers and say, look, these little assholes, there's like 4 of them, and no one listens to them anymore because they've been calling everyone Nazis for 6 years now. So everybody to them is Nazi. So nobody cares what they say. But us, if you do what they tell you to, then the outrage that we're going to show and the attention we're going to bring to your company, and we're going to pick you apart with a fine-tooth comb. And if you've got any secrets in the closet, we're going to reveal them. That's how you get these guys to be more scared of committing censorship than of not committing censorship. Usually that's the solution. However, now with Gencon, I think not really a boycott is at hand, but basically a warning has to be spread to everybody that unless you are a far left, like far left, radical Antifa type of person, you really shouldn't go to Gencon. If you're just a middle of the road guy, you are not safe there, right? It doesn't matter if you don't have a YouTube or something else, because they have now essentially given a blank check with what they have done. With kicking out Jeremy Hambley from Gencon, they have said, if you assault someone, the person you assault will be kicked out of Gencon forever. So that's the goal, right? So this could affect everybody. Basically anybody who isn't one of the extreme radical left totalitarian SJWs, right? If you're not one of those people, going to Gencon is an enormous personal risk, because Gencon will not protect you if you're assaulted. If you're violently attacked by a leftist, they will promote that leftist products as a reward. They are creating incentives for people to commit violent assaults at Gencon. That's what this ruling, that's what they've done to Jeremy Hambley means. So you need to spread the word. You need to tell people, you can't go to Gencon, it's not safe. It's not safe for anyone anymore. Physically safe. I don't mean like a safe space. I don't mean people say bad words to you. I mean, now if someone comes at your skull with a baseball bat, they'll probably be promoted on Gencon's Twitter, okay? This is what Gencon has done. And they need to see that we're going to make sure everyone knows what they've done. And that people will know that they are not safe to go there from this point onwards. So please, spread the word. share this video everywhere you can. Share Jeremy's story. Check out his channel. I don't really need to be promoting his channel. He has way more people than I do. But I will tell you guys this. We are probably around, by the time this comes out, I probably got 500 subscribers. I'm super close right now. And you can tell that the SJWs are getting more and more nervous, because this last week, I've had like 3 or 4 of these little shits, all of whom have maybe like, the biggest one has, I think, 400 followers on Twitter or something like that, but that they have been going in a non-stop campaign of accusing me of being a Nazi and a white supremacist, right? Even though, you know, like if I was living in alternate universe, like in the world of, what's it called? The Man in the High Castle. Those Nazis would just have to like spend 5 seconds doing a Google search and I'd be sent to the death camp, right? Because I've like literally attacked, denounced, and utterly rejected white nationalism and Nazism at every turn. I despise them. I have 4 great-grandparents who died in Nazi concentration camps, right? And it is just enormously insulting for these fuckers to use that word in relation to me. And it's not just about me, though, because it's what they've done to cheapen that word, so that that word means nothing anymore, because you never know now. Is someone saying, that guy's a Nazi? It's like, well, is he a Nazi? Or is he just someone who, like, maybe voted Trump, right? Or even just voted Hillary, but isn't politically correct enough, right? Like, I mean, they're calling Ben Satanis a Nazi, and he voted for Hillary, and he's like a moderate liberal, right? So Nazi literally means nothing now. And this is terrible. This is a terrible thing that they've done, because that word now has no more power, right? And they've been calling me this on Twitter all week, and I think that the reason is because they're becoming very, very scared about just how much momentum this channel is building up. And of course, I've been engaging them, because the more that they shout and the more that they scream, the more people are going to subscribe to me. So we're winning, and I want to thank everybody who's subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and please share this video everywhere, because you can support me. There's a PayPal button. There's a Patreon thing for inappropriate characters. If you want to send me money, I'll be very grateful. If you send me enough money, I'll be doing more videos. But if you can't do that, or just don't want to do that right now, that's okay. The way you can help is by subscribing, and especially by sharing the videos. Share the videos everywhere. Get more subscribers. Get the momentum going. Get the word going. Because that's, I think, ultimately, as much as I would be very, very grateful for any kind of, donations to encourage me to do more videos, to do videos more often and more interesting ones, and maybe improve my equipment, all of that is nice. But the real reason to do this is to get that momentum going, to make sure that we stop these motherfuckers. That's it for today. Currently smoking a Nira Poker plus Country Doctor.